Hello, story seekers. You join us mid-laugh for conversations that could never, ever be broadcast. But we are still here with the lovely Rick Danforth. And Rick, we're going to... it was a promise of a grilling, I believe. So are you prepared to be grilled?
I mean, it's winter and it's free heating, so I'm going to say yes, to be honest with you.
Stoke the coals, Ben. Rick?
Oh. There's a northerner if ever I've met one. That's delightful.
I mean, I'll be honest, in my flat where I used to share with a friend for 3 years, we did have, which was in like Hull, so it wasn't Yorkshire, we did have a game where the loser got 50 quid, well, had to pay the winner 50 quid, and that was the first one to put the heating on during winter. And when we were both like quite broke when we were like 23, you just sat there staring at each other, waiting like, I'll go all day. I'll put all my clothes on if I have to.
Gosh. Yeah. How many times did you lose?
Neither of us ever lost, to be fair, because we were both very bloody minded. But there was one year when it was like -15 outside. We did say, would you consider a truce so we can just please put the fucking heating on because I'm dying here?
No.
You can buy a truce for 50 quid.
Yeah. 50 quid and bragging rights.
I mean, I think it was at the point where my friend was trying to play his video game and his hands were too cold to play the game.
Oh, it's first world problems, that, isn't it? But actually, I do really, really empathise with that. Because
my button mashing is really slowed down.
Yeah, I'm trying to play StarCraft with 5 inputs per minute, unfortunately.
Clicks per minute, just through the floor. Love it.
So
I think Nico, do you want to open us with a real question?
Should we do an actual interview?
Sorry,
maybe
I'm
not.
just going to talk random shite.
I love it, Rick. I genuinely love it. So, who inspired you to start telling your own stories?
I mean, I feel I'm going to be a lot less inspiring than most people because, like, most people have a really nice story. I genuinely never intended to go into writing. Like, I read a lot as a kid because our dad was really good. He bought us books like for summer holidays and for Christmas, and it also helped. Like, he read a lot, and obviously, you kind of mimic what you see when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Because I do find it interesting when parents complain that their kids don't read, and it's like, well, do they ever see you read? Why would they think that's a normal thing to do? But anyway, but then, like, when I was probably about 26, I was reading a book, and quite frankly, I fucking hated this book. It is, and normally I hate it when people say, you know, this book is awful. It's like, no, you're not. This book is fine. You're just not the market for it. And there's a big difference between those things. But I was the perfect target audience for this book, and I still hated it. And I was looking, and I will not name it because I don't like shaming authors on things. It's rude. But I read it and I was like, you know, when you're just thinking like, I can do that. If he can get published with that, I can get published with that. And it turns out it's really hard to write a bad book. It's very hard to write a bad book that still ticks all the boxes and it does all the things. I don't think people appreciate how hard it is to do that. Because I still probably can't write a better book than him. It's taken me 10 years later. But at the same time, I also had a really weird job situation where, like Nico will understand, I was an infrastructure engineer at the time.
Yeah.
And I got employed by a company who had a team of 4 infrastructure engineers, but had outsourced all their infrastructure to a company.
Oh.
Yeah, there was some kind of weird power struggle and empire building thing going on where a director didn't want to have less staff. So but they also made us come in, do 9 to 5, and you had to be looking at the computer screen all day.
That's maddening. Just so you can add inches to someone's dick. That's
it's mental. And all that would happen is like maybe twice a day someone would go out something like, oh, the email server's down, tell infrastructure, and I'm like, okay, and then I would call the company and then they'd say, okay, we'll deal with it, and then I would sit there waiting for them to tell me something. That was my entire fucking day.
So you didn't. So I assume that you didn't go stir crazy mad there. You channeled it into something useful.
Well, I mean, the first week was great, and then it was like, okay, I can't read any more shit on Reddit anymore. I need something to actually do. I actually did about 3 years of professional exams in about 3 months. Because I just had to go do something. And then at the same time, I was reading this book thinking, I can write if he can write. And well, I did. So I was just sat there all day typing in a Word document. You know what? No one batted an eyelid because I was turning up and I was sat at the desk and I was doing the thing. And yeah, I mean that part was actually really helpful. I mean, it would have been great if I could have worked from home because no one would have known I was just like playing Fallout or watching TV. But because you have to be in the office, you have to do something. So that is my incredibly uninspiring story of it was a mix of spite of reading a bad book and having nothing to do.
It's got there's like an edge of the Chuck Bukowski to it. You know, like him working for the post office and getting so fucked off with the way the world was and his lot in life that he actually does just eventually just write a fucking book to spite everybody. It's got that kind of edge to it, and I like that.
No, but I said I don't intend to do it. But the other thing is, I actually also never intended to be a short fiction author. Which is now obviously I think I've told 34 short stories.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean I love short fiction, but I read novels. I wanted to do novels, so I was like, oh, I will write novels because I love novels. And I wrote 5 novels. Only one of which I tried to sell, which got a very uninspiring response from when I mailed it to agents. And looking back, I can definitely see all the issues why it got an uninspiring response, as it was terrible.
Terrible as in like it wasn't like aimed at the right audience, or terrible as in like the actual like meat and potatoes of the storytelling was off.
It was just fucking bad. I was still learning how to write. But
Yeah.
I think we got about 6 chapters till we got to the inciting incident of the bloody book, to be honest with you. I mean, I had fun writing it at the time, but looking back, it's like, oh god, if I did that now, yeah, I'd cut out pretty much the entire first opening 5 chapters and just get to the damn story.
Well,
Gosh.
But then after I had 3 novels in the trunk. I had one I'd unsuccessfully queried, and I saw it was actually the British Fantasy Society short story competition.
yeah.
And I'd never written a short story before, so I was like, that sounds fun. So I wrote a short story for that. It definitely did not win the frigging competition. It did sell to a small market. And then I was like, oh, well, you know what? That was really fun to write. Because a book, it takes a very long time to write. Right. Obviously, the feedback loop is very slim, whereas you can write a short story and send it to someone to critique and quite quickly, and you can get feedback and you can improve. It's like, oh, well, I'll write another couple of those and then I'll go back to the novels. I have never gone back to that novel.
Have you been tempted at all, like after you hit like you've sold story 30, 31, 32, 33, like do you reach a point where you're like, oh, I wonder what the quality would be like now if I went back and wrote one now?
Well, the problem is I'm very comfortable writing short stories now, but I'm not
Yeah.
comfortable enough writing short stories to go straight to a novel. Because I do think there's lots of areas writing a short story helps you with longer fiction. I mean, the prose is like obvious, and getting a fast start to it, and just getting a completed fact. There's lots of good things, but also I don't know how to tell a novel. That's a different skill set. So I've decided to go for the Wusser's approach and try and upgrade via I've sold a novella. Sorry, I've sold a novelette, and I'm currently working on a couple of novellas. So I'm going to slowly upgrade myself.
I keep using this word, and you might find it to be like not accurate or a bit uncool, but like your approach to life is so like sensible, like avoiding getting kicked in the head, taking things in like a
What's more
measured stride.
sensible than stopping getting kicked in the head? Not being kicked in the head in the fucking first place.
But you've got to learn. Like you've got to learn that lesson. Somebody can teach you at the tip of their toes.
And I'm very slow at learning lessons. It took me a long time to learn punching in the head. It's bad. Let's stop getting punched in the head.
You were simply soak testing your brain in the being kicked in the head environment.
I'll be honest. The reason I actually stopped doing striking was a friend shared a thing on Facebook about their friend was doing a PhD on brain trauma and asked for volunteers, and I actually got turned down because I had too many concussions.
Oh God!
Shit!
Yeah, 5 for context, and it was like, I think that's probably a warning sign.
God damn, 5 concussions. Gosh, did you like
Yeah.
this is completely to the side of the writing potentially, or maybe it's not, but like, did you did you get a sense that they were getting worse as you were having them? Like,
Um,
was number 5 worse than number 4?
it absolutely was. Like the other ones were all pretty chill. Number 5 actually lasted for 3 months.
Whoa, 3
Oh,
months.
yeah, I had
So,
to avoid. I couldn't drive. I had to avoid essentially loud noises. I also got very forgetful during that period to the point of my housemate had to keep an eye on me because I never had to set alarms for things before. I'd put something in the oven and I would be back in 19 minutes.
mm.
And that stopped being a thing that I could do.
Did you
Uh,
did you get it back after that time had elapsed?
no,
No.
I've adapted now. I set alarms for everything. Like I have 75 alarms for random activities per day.
Mm.
I also did get. I don't know if it's directly because of a concussion or if it's because I had to chill out for 3 months and relax a bit. But I am a lot more relaxed than I used to be,
Oh, okay.
to the point where like friends know it's a thing. This was like 6 years ago. Pardon me. So it was like it's very well like it's been ages now. But like previously, I'd get really, really anal about times. Like if we said meet at 7, if you weren't there at 7:01, I would be calling you. Uh,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Now it's like, fuck it, he'll turn up when he turns up. I'm here.
I mean, that sounds like an upgrade, at least as far as you're concerned, in terms of like having like an easier path through life. But I noticed, so that was a while before you started writing, before you started selling short stories. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so do you think you wouldn't have written anything like if you hadn't have had those concussions?
Oh, I'm just trying. I know. Actually, I think I was trying to think. Like the bad concussion, probably over 27, 2018. So I think I had started writing novels before that, actually.
Right. Okay. So
But
the seed had been planted by them.
yeah, because obviously you know how it is. Not like I never intended to, but once you start writing it, it's fun. It's
Mm.
problem solving. You're creating things. You get passionate about people who've never existed and only live in your mind, and you want to go share them with people. Um,
I love
uh,
that.
I mean, like just the fact that like I managed to get both of you to respond positively to a story I wrote, like I don't know how you can describe that feeling. Like it's a feeling you don't get elsewhere. It's like I made that. That's an entirely me-made thing that doesn't exist anywhere in the world, and people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
I think for us as well on this podcast, the format, um, a lot of people like even like really successful, very very well regarded, like accolade drenched authors that have been on. So some people just get nervous before they read, and like the idea is that we have this chat after we've all read, because there is something really special about all having had to sort of like go up on stage and read something to the same prompt. That means that you just feel like you can have a chat after that, because you don't have like you've had that big like build up of energy and tension, and then you've had that, as you mentioned earlier, that kind of like feedback loop from a short story. And
Yeah,
yeah, there really is nothing quite like it. It's a very special feeling, and it's really enjoyable when you get it right.
like out of curiosity, do either you two remember the first time you like sent a piece of work you'd written to a friend to critique?
Yeah, I think I do. I got a fairly muted response because it was absolute garbage. I think I
Mm,
was about 16 when I did it.
But
Um,
it's a very personal thing, isn't it? Like obviously at this
yeah,
point, I feel we're probably all well past it. But the first time you do it, it feels like you're showing somebody your soul.
yeah.
Like I
oh
really
yeah,
hope they like it, or I may fucking kill myself.
I think I still not the last bit, but like I still
Yeah.
feel that bit about like it's very vulnerable. It's a showing of your soul for sure. Yeah,
I definitely remember the first band I was ever in. I was 16, and bringing home a CD of songs that me and some other teenagers had written, and being like, "Mum, I know that you have no awareness whatsoever of the concept of grunge music, but I would like you to listen to this now and then tell me I'm a good boy." Like, I don't think you ever really lose that. It's just the people you show it to change.
yeah. It
Yeah,
broadens beyond from family to peers and like
Yeah.
people that you've met in your life and you respect the opinion of. So to lose it would be awful. Would be crushing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one thing which like it's very nice when somebody messages you to tell you that they enjoyed their story, and occasionally I'm fortunate enough that I've had a couple of reviews where I've read, but I, it's one of those ones where I'm never truly comfortable and I know people are reading it until I know they've liked it.
Yeah.
Like the knowledge that, you know, there's a few hundred people like reading that story, it's like, I'm gonna not go on the internet today, I'd rather not now.
I guess we've not really had that experience very much. I wouldn't say, because we haven't had any, like, at least not that I've seen, like, reviews of what we do, what we write, and the stories that we
I
tell.
mean, I'd call the British Fantasy Award a pretty good review, to be fair.
That's true. You know, like, that was extremely validating. Like, we were absolutely over the moon when we won that, and it was a bitter pill to not win it again the next year. I'll tell you what. Once you've tasted the heady heights, it's difficult to lump it again.
Oh, do you think? Because I go the other way now. I find having an award incredibly freeing because it's a wonderful form of validation. It's now like I can do whatever I want. I'm already an award-winning storyteller. If I never tell a story again, it doesn't fucking matter. I have a piece of glass which says I am not the worst storyteller in the room.
That's very true. I think I'm hyperbolizing a little bit, but like it was, yeah. It's. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Like the award that we got, we actually got two because there's two of us. But
Even though you have bunk beds.
yeah, even though we have bunk beds, yeah. This fucking
Yes, because
RJ
one
thing.
of us is too high up to see the award.
But it matters. Like it's in my work area. You know, I'm surrounded by like maps of Middle Earth and my library, and you know, curios from my life. And one of them is this award, and it is just very reassuring. So I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
I mean, also it adds like even being nominated once is like a massive achievement. Winning it once and then getting nominated the second year, it shows that you stayed. You know, it wasn't some. I'm being harsh. Like it wasn't some magical accident. It's like no, people like this podcast and people want to listen to it.
It's we should sort of chink our awards at some point and bond over feeling validated and reassured.
I don't dare fucking touch mine, mate. It's on the shelf where I can't bother it.
Oh, like you just can't, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's made of glass, and I'm a very clumsy human, and I live in fear that I will smash it.
Hey, you already smashed it because you won it.
Yeah. God, I tell you what, it would be really nice to talk to some more like sort of speculative fiction, science fiction authors, because we have spoken to a lot of fantasy authors over the last like few years, and it would be really cool to get some more sci-fi authors on, because it's an area that I'd love to like expand into and like write more about as well.
Yeah. I mean, this is one thing I will like. Once again, there's many disadvantages about being a short fic author, such as, you know, as an example, the pay. But I do get to bounce around a lot, and I really enjoy that because obviously, like, one of the issues for most people, like, unless you're like Adrian Tarkovsky, who writes 75 books a year and can bounce about as much as he wants because of it. Most people can, you know, you're a fantasy author now, or you're a science fiction author. You have to write on brand. Writing, like, I dip in and out of things all the time, and I'll have like a brief thing where I'm going to have a phase. You know what? I'm going to go write about golems, and I'll write 4 short stories about golems. Maybe actually bother to sell one, and then I'll go move on to something weird like Unicorn Cocaine.
I mean, the really frustrating thing about Adrian is that he's unbelievably talented and really, really nice. Damn it!
No, I still can't. Oh, honestly, he is lovely. Like I met him in passing a couple of times. He's nice. He had no idea who I was, and he was very kind. He probably still has no idea who I am, and he'll be kind the next time. But I just don't understand how someone can write as many books while all being that level of good.
So
pretty bonkers, isn't it? Very talented man. I'm still feeling the shockwaves of that the story that he wrote for this. It was amazing.
So for yourself, what themes do you find appealing when you're picking up fiction to read?
Once again, I'm probably a terrible person to ask about that because I actually don't like reading the same things. I would like a really weird variety. Like the last I might read a crime novel, then a romantasy. If it's a good story and I'm enjoying it, I'm really not too bothered. But I take this to a bit of an extreme where I actually don't like to know anything about the book or the film before I start reading them or start watching them.
Yep.
And I can actually tell you why that happened. Because you ever see the film? It's one of the Marvel films I actually like. It's what is it? It's what's the one where you have both Thor and you have Hulk in it?
Thor and Hulk.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, great film. But if you watch the trailer to that film, they show you the Hulk reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And if you didn't know that, it would be such a
wicked
powerful moment in the
yeah.
film. And they absolutely ruined that. And ever since that moment, which was probably, 10 years ago?
Yeah, give or take.
Gosh, it must be. It feels a lot more recent than that, but yeah, it must be.
That was a great film. I love it. I've rewatched it loads. But ever since that, it's like, right, I'm never going to watch a film trailer again. I don't want to know anything about the book I'm picking up. If you tell me that's a good book, that's genuinely all I want to know. But that said, I do have a couple of things where it's like, even though I do that, it's like, well, all right, I'm really happy for that. Like the big thing for me is I really do like a reluctant hero.
Yeah.
Like it's just oddly appealing when someone really doesn't want to have to, like do the thing. It's like, but they do it anyway. And the other really big one is like I don't want to see like big saving the world. I want to see everyday people doing their best.
Yeah.
Stepping up, like answering the call, even if you're not superpowered or you don't have any sort of special abilities. Like you just are the person in the chair at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, even then sometimes when it's just really low stakes or sort of stuff. Like, did you read the book Mickey 7?
No. Was this the one that was the film that came out with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, and
is that based on that? Yeah.
Yeah. They're quite very different pieces of media. I was less keen on the film, but I really enjoyed the book. But the whole point,
I'll have to try the book then because I liked the film. So let's see how we go. Go on. Sorry.
but the whole point of it, it's same in the book, same in the film. They're just different. And there's neither bad one. They're just very different pieces of media. He is a nobody. The reason he has the job is because he was too bad at everything to get a better job.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I find that oddly empowering.
I think. Well, I mean, there's echoes of your story from the previous episode, isn't there? Like that's somebody that's like they've faded entirely into obscurity from whatever life that they did have beforehand through repeated abject failures, and then now this very obscure person that does have a reason to do the job because they in that case they are a virgin. I feel like that might be actually like really entrenched in your writing approach because that was definitely in that story.
I just think it makes it more.
Well.
Sorry, I thought you'd stop speaking.
No, that's okay.
I just think it makes it a more relatable story because it's very hard to identify with, oh, Ben has to save the world. It's a lot easier to, connect to somebody where it's like, oh, Ben's on a spaceship, but his boss is a dick. And that's the main issue we have to face with today.
Yeah.
Like I even did one, like I never put IT into my stories because, like, not being funny, I do it all day. I don't want to come and look at it when I leave. I don't even build my own computers anymore at home. I just buy, someone else builds it and I buy it and it's wonderful. I don't have to do a single fucking thing. But there's a story I wrote when I often put the bureaucracy of my workplace into stories.
Yeah.
Like there's a comedy sci-fi one I did with Querulous Times where the guy was miserable because he was the only person who was awake on the ship and he had to be for insurance reasons.
Oh, I love that. That sounds great.
So his entire job was just sat there authorizing the actions the ship told him were going to happen.
In order to prove that a human had been there.
Yeah. And obviously he wasn't reading them and he's approving them, and eventually he gives the ship an instruction and jumps in cryo sleep because I'm just going to wait till we get to port because my life is meaningless.
Yeah.
And it all goes mental when he wakes up 50 years later and robots have formed tribes and it's got really fucking weird.
What was the story called? Sorry, that you wrote?
Querulous Times.
Querulous Times. Cool. Is that available for people to be able to read it online?
It actually is. Yes, it definitely is. I went on the website link when you asked me the link to my own website, which I should really know.
Oh gosh, right. Well, people should definitely go and read that then, because that sounds like a great concept.
Yeah, but it really does tie into what I'm talking about, where I said, you know what, running away from killer robots, most people probably can't relate to that, but they can definitely relate to, I was just that bored at work, I would do anything to break the monotony.
Yeah, you're just done. Checkout time. So I'm going to give you a hypothetical. There are two writers. They're being held hostage by a powerful and capricious bibliomancer. This, book sorcerer draws his energy from people's love of novels. So he sends these two out to find more for his library. Sounds pretty laborious, right? So, unrelated question to that hypothetical: what novel is closest to your heart right now?
I think it says a lot, but my first reaction is, what happens if I give him the worst novel I can find?
Well, test the magic system.
Yeah, like, does he explode? Does he just get really into X-Men, Star Trek crossover fan fiction? Like, what happens here?
He'll probably just move the bunk beds another 6 inches closer together like last time.
Wait, is the bibliomancer RJ? Unlock our deep lore.
Also, the big question, is RJ your landlord?
Yes, we live in a haunted Victorian mansion and pay rent to the ghost of a god who happens to be an excellent storyteller and writer. Oh, fuck yeah. Amazing. So yeah, what would it be? I mean, unless you want
I
to
also
out
would
your...
like to know what the worst book is
Yeah,
that you
well,
would have said.
only if you're comfortable outing it, I guess.
You know what? I'll tell you privately because I feel really hard. Because I'm sure, I think it's terrible. I'm sure the person did work on it very hard, so I
Yeah, of
feel
course.
really mean in a public thing, even though I can categorically say I do not think very highly of that particular book.
So what would be...
RJ
Yeah,
wants a book.
Oh no.
And we're definitely going with that now. He is apparently your bibliomancer. I will probably go. It's always going to be, for me, it's going to be a Discworld novel. Because I have a thing about Discworld. I love the Discworld. I actually had the privilege to be on the panels for it for both Worldcon and World Fantasy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which I'll be honest, when you do these panels, often you get a pint, and getting a free pint to talk about Terry Pratchett in a sold out room is quite frankly the highlight of my life still.
Oh god, yeah, that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm not topping. I had like mild depression for a few weeks after that because well, life's not going to get better than that.
It's all downhill from here, baby.
Oh, like how can you compete with that? But like don't worry about it. It's a very good one. Most people tend to go for Night Watch when you're talking about the best Pratchett book.
We do often do that, yes.
Yeah, it is a fantastic book, and it's one of my favourites. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but it even got it's now a Penguin Classic.
Is it?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, like it. Which is not being funny, you don't often get for a fantasy novel,
No.
especially an older fantasy novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Night Watch is now Penguin Classic, which is really cool. That is not my favourite. My favourite, if you're familiar with it, is The Truth.
Oh yeah, the first it's the proto Moist von Lipwig, isn't it? It's William de Word is the main character on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of similar things on it. And there's a lot to unpack in it as well. Like firstly, it does all the usual stuff which like Pratchett does, where it's effortlessly hilarious. He does all the clever wordplay, does all the satirical social commentary. Every single thing in the book is apparently an Easter egg to something.
Yeah.
But my personal favourite, I'm sure you're probably aware of it, in the book, the dwarf who owns the press is called Gunilla Goodmountain.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a play on Gutenberg, the first printing press.
So you know what? I've read that book at least 3 times, and I had not got that. So thank you so much for that. I'm a member of a Facebook group which is about, basically it boils down to unpicking all of the references in all Terry Pratchett books, and that is exactly the kind of post that I really like to see. So thank you for putting that out in the world.
We both had Vetinari explained to us by it not long ago, didn't we?
Yes.
Overlinked to Medici.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly believe everything in those books is a reference. It's just we don't know what half of them are.
Yeah, scary. How deep some of them go.
I I mean, this is the most
Yeah.
bizarre thing, though. You have books which came out 30 years ago and which make perfect sense without the Easter eggs,
Mhm.
and you can read them and not know the Easter egg, and it's still a fantastic book. And then 30 years
Yeah.
later, you might name me anyone else who does that.
Yeah, it's remarkable the construct because I think it's because the construction's so strong. Like they work as stories,
Yeah.
irregardless of all of that detail.
Well, the thing is, he calls that Dwarf Good Mountain as an example, and then it's never played on, never mentioned. It's just he doesn't care if the reader gets it. He's done that for him.
Yeah.
My personal favourite one, and I will stop naming random things after this. I promise you. Is you know the way you summon death, the Rite of Ashkente.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually, I believe, it's not confirmed by Terry Pratchett because unfortunately he's dead. But it's a play on Ask Auntie, like the old newspaper columns.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, and I saw that on like Reddit last year, and I was like, I've been reading these books for 25 fucking years. I've never once got even close to working that out.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that you picked the truth for this. I think it's because it's a real sleeper hit of a book that, and as I say, like
Yeah.
the Moist von Lipwig stuff takes over after William de
Well,
Word.
well, the problem you have with that is like he knew he was on the way out, and he was trying to rush through to get to the end of what the Discworld would become.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I do want to give him like a bit of like leeway because yeah, there was too much Moist Van Lipwig for my taste compared to how varied the earlier ones are. But he also, I think he was I obviously didn't know him. I don't know what his intentions was, but I think he was trying to leave behind what he wanted the Discworld to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Um, which is sad, and obviously, but yeah, it is a beautiful book because obviously there's all the normal stuff like we were talking about, like obviously the references, the wordplay, and one thing I will say is like the brevity of his writing is incredibly underrated.
Yes.
It does move along at a fair clip, doesn't it?
I think it's why he gets away with his style where there's loads of random segues and rambling because although he rambles, those rambles are incredibly you get so much information delivered per word. It's also really notably what in the last couple of books when obviously his issues are kicking in, and buggerings as he called them, that starts to fall apart a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Like if you read Raising Steam, something that would have been one paragraph when he's writing the truth suddenly takes him 3 paragraphs.
And
And
it like gets referred back to you as well. Like I was
Yeah.
finding that like it was just like you'd get into the next chapter and then like quite a similar joke would happen. I'd be like, oh man, this is
Yeah.
yeah,
I redid Raising Steam earlier this year because I tend to pick a character and say, right, I'm going to go through all their stuff again.
yeah,
Like I might do Death. Or Death's a tricky one because technically you've got to read all of it. But the I was revisiting Moist, and when I got to Raising Steam, because I'd done them all sort of dun dun dun, I thought, God, I really felt that. I think for me, it's always feeling how different Vimes suddenly feels. It's
yeah. The
it's
character,
hard to notice until you start looking, but the characters lose a bit of who they've grown into being and become a sort of more simplified version of themselves again.
yeah, it dips a lot. I do think part of that, in all fairness, as well, is because of the nature of the Alzheimer's he had, where it was physical at first and not mental. But at the first
Yeah,
instance, he couldn't go back and edit as efficiently.
yeah,
He was doing the story. He was writing the stories orally, so he couldn't go back and do the little word plays. And it does show more and more. And it is the thing is, it's still a functional, good novel. It's just it's
yeah.
not great when you compare it to his earlier work.
the
Oh,
yeah. I mean, this is very sad. I think we can tell that we're like these novels are all very close to our hearts, which is why it's
yeah,
that sad end
Yeah,
that amazing man
yeah.
had has really affected us. But the truth is
Sorry.
in that kind of heyday, isn't it? It's
Well,
it's in the
it's actually the cornerstone of when it starts taking it seriously. Because
yeah
there's actually a bit in the book where Vetinari goes to the press and he's like, okay, what are the shenanigans that are going on here? And there's literally a bit where it's like, okay, so, nothing's exploding, there's no tentacle monsters, there's no 50 feet magic women who are the villain in this book. The villain is the people. We're going to use the magic and the weirdness and the coolness, and we're going to have a lot of jokes along the way, but the actual core plot is now going to be very serious.
Yeah, yeah. And like the villain in that is basically like a Rupert Murdoch kind of character, right? Like it's the father of William de Word.
Yeah.
You know, the what's the line? It's a lie can run round the world before the truth has its
Truth can
boots
get its
on.
boots on,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
fake news. It's a commentary on fake news well before fake news was in common parlance.
well, that's the most weird thing about it. It's an over 20-year-old book, which is literally about one person trying to do journalistic integrity, and another person is outselling them because they're doing fake news and tabloid lies. And that terrifyingly ages well, better and better each year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it also has a lot of meaning for me personally, that book, because I don't know if you probably do remember, because obviously you're a big fan, is like William de Word at the start of the book is a young man who's kind of floating about and not really doing much in life.
Yeah, he's a second son through and through, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's got his little sheet he sends to a few people, he makes a nice income, and the rest of the week he's just chilling. And then he finds his purpose and he sticks at it. And he really, he's passionate and he works his ass off and he does a great job. And I used to be that person who was floating about and not doing a lot. And I like to think I'm the person who found the purpose and is sticking at it and trying to do the best of it. So it does have a lot of personal feeling for me in that regard as well.
Do you feel like that might be a quite common thread for like I love that connection in the truth for you there, but I think a lot of his protagonists are about people that are a bit lost and then find their calling in the world. Like Vimes, when you meet him, he's drunk in a gutter and he becomes the Duke of the city.
Yeah,
Like
the city's a what's her name?
The city's a what's all of the witches have either found their calling, i.e., Granny Weatherwax, or they're looking for their calling. So you're looking at like Magrat Garlic and Perdita. Sorry, that's Agnes Nitt, isn't it? Not Perdita. Who else have we got? Who are the other main characters? Moist is at down and out, like he is done, like he's just doing it for himself, and then he gets
to
given,
be hanged, isn't he?
Yeah, to be hanged, and then he gets given a purpose, and then he takes to it like a duck to water.
Well, the really interesting one with Moist is he loved his purpose. However, he didn't know until a very frank conversation that anyone was getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's when Pump literally tells him, well, actually, you've technically killed 2.3 people. And he's like, no, I haven't. It's like, well, actually, you have, because you cause that much distress to all these families you'll never meet. And that's why you start rooting for the character, because he's like, oh, fuck, I thought I was just, upsetting a bank. I didn't realize I was ruining actual normal people's lives.
Absolutely.
Then hammered home when it's revealed that Spike is one of the people that he directly hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic storytelling with how circular it is anyway, but also it's like it makes you root for somebody you should not root for.
I do wonder whether this is why I've never really got on with Rincewind. Like, I actually bounced off Discworld the first time I tried to read Color of Magic, because I was just like, this isn't for me. But I wonder if it's because like that never happens for Rincewind. He's just always running. Like he's kind of one note in a way.
I mean, in all fairness, it makes a lot of sense if you look at the origins of what it was, because the first two books are just a parody of sword and sorcery, not stories.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which don't age particularly well, because nowadays nobody's read those short stories. It's hard to be a successful parody when nobody reads the source material.
Well, when you've become the big name in the genre.
Yeah, like nowadays, more people read him and they read what he was parodying, and then they don't get the jokes.
So I feel like we could talk about this for a while, but I'm going to move us on to another question, because I think I'm really keen to learn a bit about your process, because we did set it up in the previous episode. So Rick, what is your you've written a draft. What is your editing process at that point?
Well, it's mostly a sham, if I'm honest. It's an absolute train wreck. Because like, even before I sit down and write the draft, I take notes on a phone, like a OneNote app. And it'll just be random walking about, and it might be an idea or a vibe or a bit of a scene. And I actually can't start writing until I have an idea of what the story is meant to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get it wrong. Like I think I have it, and I sit down and I start writing it, which is actually what happened with the first story I wrote for you guys on the prompt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I wrote it, and I said, it is a functioning story, but I was like, I don't know what the soul of this is. Like, for context, it was about robots discussing the reintroduction of humans, and because humans had died out.
Mm.
But I don't know what the spark of that piece was. I wasn't excited to come back to it, which is like, well, if I'm not excited about it, why the fuck are you guys going to be excited about it?
I feel like I need to learn that from you a little bit, because I will quite bloody-mindedly stick with a concept, even if I think that it's not necessarily bringing me joy, or might not even bring the audience joy, which is definitely a detracting point from my writing. So yeah, thank you for teaching me that.
Well, I've got a friend called John who introduced me to at World Fantasy, John Laidlow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I told him that I'd written the first one. He was like, "That's doing great." And he was like, "So how are you getting on with editing?" It's like, "Well, I've thrown it away and now I'm writing about unicorn cocaine." And he was like, "What are you doing? Go back and do the original story." It's like, well, I don't want to do the original story. It's not. It didn't excite me. I want to come to my desk and I want something to grab me and be like, I want to go work on that and make it better. Not, oh, I guess I should write on that story.
And yeah, a lot of people do get that advice, don't they? Of write something that you would want to read. So if you haven't got through a editing draft and you don't want to look at it, then yeah, I think it is wise to be able to say that ain't the one.
Yeah, because I will probably revisit it, because what I tend to do is I have ideas and they just chill there for like sometimes a couple of years. It's like I now know how to do that story. I have to go write this down because I could be even talking to someone. It's like, I'm really sorry. I need to write this down. Please ignore me for 5 minutes while I write down the absolute revelation I've just had.
Yeah.
Like when I wrote like my first story, which got nominated for the Short Fiction Award, Seller's Remorse, is about a door-to-door salesman who tries to convince people about which god they should choose
Okay.
in like a pantheon of gods. And I had the idea that I wanted somebody I had this for 2 years, or I wanted to have somebody who was if there's a pantheon of gods, surely someone's got to be like the insurance broker or someone who's, oh, Ben, this is the god for you. You want to be going for them? But I didn't know how to put it into a story.
Yeah.
And it just sat there for 2 years. And I went to go see the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was like,
I've not seen the Book of Mormon yet, but you've seen it, haven't you, Nico?
I adore it. It's my favorite musical.
oh,
Easily.
it is fantastic. Go see it when you can.
Yeah.
Like, it is really. But as soon as I saw someone going door to door, it's like, that is exactly what they have to do with gods. We have to go knock on the door, try and interest somebody, and try and hook them a god. So like that part of the process is quite chaotic. I mean, I think I did like touch on the first draft. I'm going to write down the dialogue and some of the action and essentially vibes, if I'm perfectly honest. And then the second draft is where I'll actually do the description.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I skim description when I read books. Which
Your eyes just sort of slide off it, sort of thing.
yeah, I only want functional description. I don't think it helps that I struggle to picture things.
Yeah.
Like if you say a computer monitor, I know what a computer monitor looks like, but I can't really picture it if I close my eyes. I just kind of I find the description very uninspiring, which is why I use humor when I'm writing, because that's what
Yeah.
makes it fun to write.
No, I get that. I really, really do.
Um,
Do you do the stick it in a drawer for a month thing, or are you
oh,
what's happening is
absolutely.
happening?
Oh
Yeah.
no, absolutely. Because well, I mean, this one I didn't, which obviously it's good. It takes me out of my comfort zone. But yeah, normally like I'll do 5-6 drafts and I'll do a lot of tweaking. Like I'll add a bit like by the time I've added the description and I've got it all sorted, I'll then do a lot of like tweaking wordplay, and that's where a lot of the jokes come in. It's me just doing little tweaks and oh, that could be a funny joke or that could be a
Yeah.
reference to it. Because I'm sure you noticed there's a few random references to shit in that story, which you guys read. Even down to like there was a reference to the Nazi meth drug.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I thought that was what that was. I actually wrote down to ask you about that, but then the conversation moved through it.
Yeah, essentially, I wrote about unicorn cocaine because are you familiar with Last Podcast on the Left?
No.
I've heard of it before, but I actually have never listened to it. Yeah,
Oh,
go on.
it's sorry, listeners. Other podcasts exist. I'm really sorry to tell you.
Yeah, they know it. They know that other podcasts exist because they must have heard at least some of Writopolis before.
Oh, that's
These,
RJ's one, isn't
these
it?
poor people listening.
But yeah, it's really good. Essentially, they do a lot of well-researched history, but it's told in the way of three guys in a bar,
Oh, cool.
and they get quite dark. But it's good. I was listening to their one about Heinrich Himmler, whom they were obviously covering the Nazi meth, and for some reason, I was thinking about the time. Obviously, I was like, something's got to be conserved. What could
Yeah.
possibly be conserved? It's like, I mean, you're throwing fantasy stuff at the wall, like unicorns or gnomes or things. And I was listening to the meth. It's like, what if unicorns were made out of meth?
Should have been bath salts. What with them biting people? That's
That is a missed opportunity.
It might be a mystical combination of both, with a bit of cocaine like sort of sprinkled on top of it as well.
But
the
honestly,
inevitable,
that's how
isn't
I have noticed actually that when I first started, I used to get inspired to write stories by reading stories,
it? Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I still enjoy reading stories, obviously, but I get more inspired of non-fiction now.
Mm.
Like one story I'm currently, which is on Query because I've not told it yet, which is a shame because I love that story. I was listening to a podcast about the Black Death,
Yeah.
and so I wrote a story where it's five different POVs of people where like the first person is the guy who finds the fur and passes it on, and the second person is the illegal fur trader who gets killed by grave diggers.
The links in the chain.
Yeah, and then at the end it hits like the Duke of the local area who's caused most of the problems throughout the story, and he dies because obviously he gets bitten by a flea on the fur.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my motivation now of listening to random fucking podcasts.
I like straight up. I love being inspired by real historical events and things like that. Because there's so much drama to it that it would be quite difficult to sit there and think up. So if you've got like a working knowledge of history, you can really put something together just by playing notes from different historical periods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also not being funny. There's so much stuff in the world which is more outrageous than um, fiction ever could be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like one thing for that story I absolutely sold is that during the Black Death there was some Florence gravediggers who went around just walking into people's houses and saying, either you pay us or we kill you when we throw you in the pits.
Good lord.
Yeah, that's fucking dark.
Yeah, it's like,
two guys smoking Rolly and Forenzo, like, you know what we can do.
yeah, and
We've got this big grave.
well, that's the point. It's like they're in charge of the fucking graves. If they're all in on it together, who's gonna know?
Oh, he had plague. Are you sure? He looks like he's got an axe wound in the back of his head. Yeah, it was plague.
The
he
way
had a
plague
real
goes
bad.
is really weird nowadays.
Yeah.
The rat that bit him had massive teeth.
Axe-sized teeth.
And obviously, like you read that, it's like, how can you not put that in a story?
Yeah.
How can you not?
So,
yeah, go on.
speaking of things you want to put in stories, you've got one out on Query. Is there anything you can tell us about what you're doing next?
Yeah. Like the novella I'm currently working on, which I'm having. I say that I have taken a quick break to do a comedy short for a call I really want to get into, and I've actually gone for a minion support group for Minions of Dark Lords.
Cool.
Having a lot of fun of that. But the actual thing I'm meant to be working on is, the film The Producers.
Yeah.
I love the film producers.
Well, I've written a novella which uses the same kind of plot, where it's also parodying, like a lot of the tech startups nowadays, where for like 300 years, people who get their like wizarding degree have written a thesis and it's just been thrown in the library and no one cares about it. But due to advances in magic, most of these ideas are now valid, and so you have tech companies finding these ideas, and now they're valid because they've found a way to condense more magical power. They're doing tech startups and doing cool shit with them. But these people work out that, similar to producers, the best way to make real money out of these startups is to make a fake one that can never truly work and string it along for a while.
Okay.
So
You can make more money out of a burst bubble than a real bubble.
yeah, and then obviously, unfortunately, their product, which is golems, works.
Oh.
And then they're sat there like, I can't even fucking destroy it. It's a golem.
Oh god, that sounds great. God,
Yeah,
and this is something
hopefully.
that's on sub, sorry, or is it
No,
your
no,
own
I'm
story?
editing it now, and hopefully that
Mm.
I love it. I love it, so hopefully editors love it and they want to buy it. I hope they do because I genuinely love this stuff.
Well, if you want
Well, I hope they
a
do.
beta reader or anything like that, feel free to send it through to us. Happy
Yeah,
to read it for you.
we're both
Uh,
absolute betas. Please send it to us.
Thank you. I will 100% take you up on that because I said I love this novella. Um, so I'm going to be very upset when I do the querying process, and obviously even stuff which sells
Or
never sells to the first person, and I will be emotionally devastated once again.
we'll have everything crossed for you. So I think I'm gonna wrap us up with the final question, which is just where can people go to keep up to date with your news?
I mean, like news is probably going to be best if you go to my Blue Sky, which is Rick and Write. Like to find stories, please go on the website, which is like rickdanforth.com. Everything I'm pretty good. Like I will even put the link to the story of that we've had on the podcast today, probably this week because I do try. I do make a bit of an effort, and also I really like the story, which Nico fantastically read. Um,
Thank you, my love.
that's the best way, obviously. The Blue Sky and obviously on the website. I do also have Instagram, but that's mostly pictures of my dog.
Where can people go for dog pictures? Because a
The
lot of people like
Instagram,
dog pictures.
the Instagram is Danforth Rick, and I will say the dog is a Samoyed, if you're familiar.
Samoyed.
Yeah, they're like a fluffier, stupider, derpier husky.
Oh, cool.
Um,
I'll be
li-
checking that out.
yeah, he's actually a 30-kilo dog who keeps getting stuck on windowsills. Because he gets up there and he can't get down, and then I'll hear barking, and then I'll go downstairs and he's stuck on a fucking windowsill. And he's been
That's
doing
going.
this shit for 2 years.
That's going into a story if it hasn't already been in one of your stories, I would imagine.
Honestly, I tell him every day he'd make a much better rug than a dog, but I keep him as a dog.
Oh, well, it's been actually like a true delight to have you on. I really enjoyed your
We're gonna have
story.
you again. We've got to have
Yeah,
you again.
feel
Hey,
free to come back on.
I have had a great time here, honestly, lads. It's been fantastic fun.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But we'll let you go and release you to the wild. And for everybody listening, this has been Rick Danforth on the Tiny Bookcase. And please do check out his website, which is rickdanforth.com, and read some more of his stories.
Cheers, guys.
Please don't hit me, Rick.
that was great fun.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Tiny Bookcase.
Remember to subscribe, otherwise you're going to miss out on the future fun.
Also, tell a friend. If you like this episode, link them to it.
We'd be tremendously grateful. You can follow us on Twitter at BookcaseTiny, Facebook at The Tiny Bookcase, and Instagram at BookcaseTiny for updates. Speaking of supporting the podcast, well, magic can only take one so far. The Tiny Bookcase is supported by the generosity of its patrons. Those kind souls have really kept my belly full the last year. Let's cast a spell for them, shall we? For rich ginger tones on their scalp, let us cast the Orangi Hedondo spell for Scott Byrne. And for general fabulousness, why not the Ooh La La, How's Your Mother spell on Matthew McLaren?
How do you come up with that shit, man?